Today in math, we are going to be talking about -0 and -1 fact strategies. But first, let's do a review. Yesterday, we talked about two different fact strategies, two different subtraction fact strategies. They were counting up and counting back. So, here on this screen, I am showing you two different subtraction problems. 11 minus 3 equals, and 14 minus 2 equals. I want you to use either the counting up or counting back to solve 11 minus 3 and 14 minus 12. And how did you decide which one to use? Let's go over it and see. So 11 minus 3. I notice that the number that we're taking away is small. 3 is a small number. Whenever we're taking away a small number, we should use the counting back strategy, because we are just taking away 3 numbers. It's very small. So we start at 11 and we take away 3. 11, 10, 9, 8. And we can just double check. We took away 1, 2, 3 numbers. We land on 8. 11 minus 3 equals 8. The counting back strategy worked best for 11 minus 3 because the number that we are taking away is small. And let's look at 14 minus 12. Because 14 and 12 are really close together, we would use the counting up strategy. We will start at the smaller number in the problem and count up to the bigger number. 12, 13, 14. And if you thought about this like on a number line or looked at the number line in your math journal, 12 to 13, 13 to 14. That's just 2 hops. That's much easier than starting at 14 and going back 12 numbers. 2 is much easier. Counting up 2 is much easier than counting back 12. So 14 minus 12 equals 2. Because 12 and 14 are so close together, we can count up. We're going to start at this. We started at the smaller number in the problem, and we counted up to the bigger number. 14 minus 12 equals 2. So we are going to continue and let's explore more strategies. And today it's going to be -0 and -1. Right here on this screen, you can see -0 and -1 facts. I have not put out the answers, but what I have shown you are different ways to display or show number sentences. I want you to solve the problems and think about how to find the answers. I want you to look at the different facts that are here. See if you can find patterns. Maybe you can find different rules for solving these types of facts. So let's talk about the answers and any patterns. Let's look at our first 2 problems right here. If 0 is subtracted from any number, like 5 minus 0 and 7 minus 0, if 0 is subtracted from any number, that number does not change because we're not taking anything away. So 5 minus 0 equals 5, 7 minus 0 equals 7. We can see that again a couple more places on the screen. Now this problem right here is written different than 5 minus 0 and 7 minus 0 because we see the problem, it's just kind of flipped around. We see the answer written first, then equals, then 8 minus 0. But it still says the same thing. 8 equals 8 minus 0. Just the blank space for the answer was written first. But we can still think 8 minus 0, not taking anything away, equals 8. These two problems right over here were also written different than 5 minus 0 and 7 minus 0. They are written what we call vertical, that is up and down. And this line right here acts as kind of like the equal symbol. So it says 9 minus 0 equals, and then you write the answer below, 9. Same thing right over here, 4 minus 0, and this line right here, write the answer right underneath, equals 4. And then let's talk about the rest of the problems where there's a pattern for minus 1. 9 minus 1 and 3 minus 1. If 1 is subtracted from any number, the result or answer is the next smaller number. 9 minus 1 equals 8. 8 is one number smaller than 9. The same pattern follows here. 3 minus 1 equals 2. 2 is the next smaller number than 3. Check out 87 minus 0. What does that equal? That equals 87. Because what are we taking away? 0. When we subtract 0, we are not taking anything away. So we still have 87. Do you think this will always be true, even with very large numbers? Yes, even with 87 and much bigger numbers, it will always be true, because when we subtract 0 from any number, the number remains the same. Because when you take away nothing, it stays the same. And let's look at 3 more problems. 54 minus 1, 67 minus 1, and 96 minus 1. And what patterns do you notice with each problem? "54 minus 1 equals 53. Because we are subtracting 1, 53 is 1 less than 54. It is the next smaller number. 67 minus 1 equals 66. 66 is the next smaller number than 67. 96 minus 1 equals 95. 95 is the next smaller number than 96. The answers are always 1 less than the starting number because we are taking away 1. Today we went over the minus 0 and minus 1 subtraction strategies. You will work in your math journal today.